hope everyone is doing well. And I decided, since it has been a long time since I have done a recipe video from my own recipes, I decided that it was time to do a recipe video. And with that said, today I will be making chocolate brownie cookies, or should I call them disaster brownie cookies, because I thought they were a disaster when they came out, and it turned out to be fabulous. So yeah, with that said, before we begin straight into the recipe video, I will be using as the flour garbanzo bean flour, and you can find this at a health food store. And what's great about garbanzo bean flour is that it's 6 grams of protein per 1/4 cup and 5 grams of fiber. And that's the only flour I will be using for these cookies. So these cookies are gluten-free, they are dairy-free, egg-free, and they're practically almost guilt-free. And so with all the protein and the fiber in them, they would also make a snack every now and then maybe, but they would be a great, especially for dessert. So anyway, let's hop straight into the recipe video and let's get started. See you guys. Okay, so the first thing you are going to need is 1/3 cup of applesauce. So let's get our 1/3 cup of applesauce. And I use unsweetened applesauce. Okay. This will replace the oil. The good thing about not using any oil is that it's a less mess to clean up, and it doesn't take as long to wash the dishes because of the oil. Okay, next is 1/2 cup of melted chocolate chips. So, as you can see, my chocolate chips are not melted yet, so we're going to go melt those right now. And while they're melting, we'll go ahead and do the cocoa powder. So, while the chocolate chips are melting, I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And that's 2 tablespoons natural unsweetened cocoa powder. Then 2 tablespoons of flaxseed meal. And this is what the bag looks like, of flaxseed meal. And I took 2 tablespoons and added 6 tablespoons of water and mixed it and set it to the side and let it thicken in about 5 to 10 minutes. So this replaces the egg. And you may have to really shake it to get it out. All right. Let's see, 2 tablespoons of agave nectar. This is also a sugar substitute. And the applesauce will also make it extra sweet too. Okay, put some agave nectar in there. All right, next is 1 cup of a garbanzo bean flour. But before we put the garbanzo bean flour in, let's get the melted chocolate chips. And the chocolate chips I usually put in for about 25 seconds. And as you can see, they're not melted all the way. So I'm going to put them back in a little bit longer for another probably 35 seconds. Okay, so while that's going, we're going to go ahead and put in the garbanzo bean flour. So you need 1 cup of garbanzo bean flour, and like I showed you in the last video, garbanzo bean flour. And garbanzo bean flour will give it a smooth and silky texture of the flour. So here's the garbanzo bean flour. We'll stick that in there. or pour that in there, I should say. And we get the chocolate chips. They should be about done. Oh yeah, yeah. And if there's still little chunks of chocolate chips in there, it's no big deal. So this is what it should look like. So we're gonna pour, and it's a half a cup of chocolate chips. So we're gonna pour that in there. And I actually used semi-sweet Ghirardelli chocolate chips. Okay. You can also get Enjoy Life chocolate chips. Okay, we're going to set that to the side. And this is Enjoy Life. They're mini chips. They also have the chocolate chip chunks. And if you want to go on the cheaper route, Ghirardelli semi-sweet is also good. Good quality chocolate is the key. Okay, and then half a cup of coconut sugar. Now, if you've never had coconut sugar, you must try coconut sugar. It is so good. It's got an extra sweet taste, I think. Here it is. It's original coconut palm sugar. Okay, now I need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. There we go. And if you go a little bit over, it's no big deal. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And I use sea salt as my salt instead of regular. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mix this all up. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna be almost more like a brownie dough instead of a cookie dough. And this is when I had a feeling I knew it wasn't gonna work, because I was like, man, this is more for brownies than for cookies. But lo and behold, it turned out to be an amazing recipe. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, and next you can add, also if you want, you can add chopped walnuts. Next, what I'm gonna add, for the heck of it, because who doesn't love chocolate, is about half a cup of chocolate chips. Alrighty. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna taste it first before we start putting it on the pan and get ready to put it in the oven. Make sure it does taste good. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Okay, so now I'm gonna place them in the oven. Okay, so as you can see, this is what the batter will look like before it's placed in the oven. And it may not look that appetizing like the usual chocolate chip cookies, but this is what it looks like before going into the oven. So we're gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 14 to 15 minutes, or until they look like they're well done, okay? Okay, so this is what the cookies look like when they come out of the oven. I actually put them in at 350 degrees for about 16 minutes. And as you can see, they were stuck together when they came out, and they actually, when you cut them, it's like cutting a brownie. They have the exact texture of a brownie. See? Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, I'm gonna try one now. Really good. It's very soft. It almost has like a, it's definitely like, you can tell it's definitely like a brownie. Hence the name brownie cookies. So anyway, there we go. Anyway, so that is my video on how to make my disaster brownie cookies. And I hope you all can try it as well and give a hand at it. And if you do, let me know what you think about them. So I will talk to y'all later, and yeah, see ya.